Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another English lecture. Like we discussed in our Google Meet, this is going to be a grammar video, and the next video will be literature. I was supposed to make like a literature video here, but then I realized, okay, let me just finish adjectives first, and then I can move on to literature because I really wanted like adjectives to be done before I moved on to like other literature and everything else. So, like I said, this video is going to be about adjectives. Now, adjectives are words that add meaning to our nouns, add meaning to our pronouns, and describe things, tell us more information about whatever we are describing. So, make sure you pay attention to the rules. And adjectives are very important in language because they add color to your language, they add a lot of detail and information to your language. There are certain rules you have to pay attention to when you're dealing with adjectives, which is very important because like there's a certain sequence you have to go through. I'll share that in the video, but there's a certain sequence you have to keep in mind while dealing with adjectives. On the other side of things that I really wanted to talk to you guys about, like it's your exams and everything, like your first period tests are coming up. So I'll decide the syllabus, and like I said, it'll mostly be literature. I mean, unless and until the school specifically asks me to include grammar, I won't be including grammar because we've not really done much grammar together. It's just like two exercises, nouns and pronouns. That's all we've done. So can't really give you an exam based on that. So I'll just do literature for now. If like the school asks me that you have to include grammar, then I will include grammar. So we'll be taking a look at adjectives today. This is not going to be, I will try not to make this a very long video. Like I said, I've already given you a 30-minute video on pronouns. So adjectives, I'll try to keep it a little bit shorter. I'm sorry to everybody who had to watch a 30-minute video, but I tried to make it as interesting as possible. It's the same thing I'll try to do here as well. So everybody pay attention, make notes, and all the rest of the good stuff. And if you're watching this video for the first time, like I said, I'm available on email, I'm available on Discord anytime, but my phone is only available from 7 to 2 p.m. And like I said, some of you are still WhatsApping me your homework. Like I got, like I said, I texted on Discord as well that day. Megha Chauhan, if you're watching this video, Megha Chauhan, I'm specifically talking to you. Please do not send me like 35 images on WhatsApp as your homework submission. What am I going to do with 35 images on WhatsApp? How am I going to check them? If you send them to me on email, I have a computer here with a big giant screen that I can read everything on, that I can correct everything on. If you send me them on WhatsApp, how am I supposed to correct them? And they get lost. Like WhatsApp chats are not really sorted properly. You can't really differentiate between things. That's why I told you guys the format. That's why I taught you the format so you could submit your homework and not worry about me getting confused or you getting confused. So if Megha Chauhan is watching this video, do not submit your homework on WhatsApp. Please send it to me on email. Like even the 30 images that you've sent me, please send them to me on my email again. Do not send stuff to me on WhatsApp. It gets lost. Like I said, WhatsApp is a social network or social media kind of a thing for me. I only check it like once or twice a day, not too much. So it'll get lost because like all the other groups you're sending messages, like I said, I'm dealing with 4 sections, so I get messages from 4 different sections and everything gets lost, everything gets mixed up together. So do not do that, please. Please, I'm requesting everybody who's still like thinking about sending me stuff on WhatsApp, please don't. Just email it to me, or if you can't email it to me, just DM it to me on Discord. Like I got a message from somebody in class 11th B. I think Soumya Nenwal, her name was, I can't remember. Like I said, I have a very bad memory with names, people, sorry. So somebody messaged me and said like they can't attend the lecture because they just have one phone they're sharing with their sibling. So if somebody is watching this video and you're having trouble attending the Google Meets, reach out to me. We can work something out. I'll take probably an extra lesson or something somewhere. Those of you who can attend the lectures, please attend the lecture. This is not for you. Like ignore this part if you've been attending my lectures regularly. This is for those who can't attend because of some reason, because they just have one device or they have some timing issues with their family or whatever it is. So reach out to me and reach out to the school so we can figure this out and we can solve this problem for you guys. All right, you're not dealing with this alone. I can have some flexibility in my schedule. Like I said, I'm very busy, but it doesn't mean I can't make time for my students. So reach out to the school, reach out to everybody else who is in charge, and we will figure something out for you guys. Anyways, let's get started with the video. Enough with my blah blah blahing. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope you guys have fun and learn something. So, as we've talked about, adjectives describe nouns and pronouns. They give you more information about people, places, and things. Alright, now here we're going to take a look at some of the kinds of adjectives. So, some adjectives tell you about the size of people or things. For example, big house, long bridge, tiny feet, etc. Some adjectives tell about the color of things, a red carpet, a gray suit, a brown bear, a white swan. Some adjectives tell what people or things are like by describing their quality. So, a beautiful woman, a young soldier, a hot drink, a kind lady, a familiar voice, a strange place. Some adjectives tell what things are made of. They refer to substances. So basically, what things are comprised of or what things are made of can be told by adjectives as well. For example, a plastic folder, a stone wall, a clay pot, a paper bag, metal box, glass door, cotton shirt, etc. All right. So I don't think I need to explain this even further. I think we've already been through this during like our Google Meet and during the time we were discussing adjectives. So this is basically all the examples of all the kinds. So now this is not really that important for me to talk about that much. So we'll just move on to the next part, which I think is actually more important and which I think you should need to focus on. So the next page shows us the adjectives of origin. Some adjectives are made from proper nouns of place. These adjectives are called adjectives of origin. So I've talked to you about this as well. A Mexican hat, a British police officer, the French flag, a Filipino dress. Here we're using these proper nouns as adjectives to denote the origin of something or where something comes from. Now, the most important part of this video, I would say, is this, the order of adjectives. Now, whatever you do, please make a note of this where you don't lose it, all right? Make a note of this in your fair notebooks as well. Whenever you're going to write adjectives, make sure this is like the top heading. After you write the chapter name, write this down, the order of adjectives, all right? So, sometimes several adjectives are used to describe a single noun or pronoun. When you use two or more adjectives, the usual order is size, quality, color, origin, or substance. So, for example, a small green plastic box. All right. So remember, the order is we're supposed to tell about the size first, then the quality, then its color, then its origin, and then what it is made of. All right. So, for example, a stylish red Italian car. So now look at these two examples. And the first one, first we talk about the size, then we talk about the color, and then we talk about substance. All right. And the second example, first we talk about quality, then we talk about color, and then we talk about origin. So as you can see, it's basically like a formula, right? So anytime you use this order of adjectives, think of it as a way, like think of it as BODMAS, right? So you have to solve the bracket first, then you have to solve off first, then you have to solve divide first, then you have to do the multiplication, then the addition, and then the subtraction, right? So depending on what problem you have, you keep doing stuff according to the equation, but you don't skip steps, you don't do like you don't subtract before you multiply, and you don't add before you divide, right? So it's the same thing here. So if you're trying to tell the size, quality, and the origin, so and you're trying to skip the color, so you'll go size, quality, and origin. You won't just go origin, size, and quality. You can't change the order. The order has to stay the same throughout. So for more examples, a large Indian temple, a tall white stone building, a colorful cotton shirt, a long Chinese silk robe. All right. So this is the general rule. Now, if you remember the general rule, now we can look at the exception. But make sure that the general rule is, I mean, down. You have it down completely. And if you have any problems, make a note, and I'll discuss it with you during your Google Meet and everything else. But for now, just remember this like formula: size, quality, color, origin, substance. That's what you have to remember when you're talking about adjectives. So adjectives of quality sometimes come before adjectives of size. All right, beautiful long hair, elegant short hair. All right, now this is one exception to the rule where sometimes you have to say the adjective of size after you say the adjective of quality. So here, long is the adjective of size, but beautiful is an adjective of quality. But we can't say long, beautiful hair. All right, we'll have to say beautiful long hair. Now, some of you may be asking me, why do you say beautiful long hair, but why doesn't long, beautiful hair? Think about it. When you're saying, if I tell somebody, oh, he has long, beautiful hair, think about it. What's the first thing I'm telling them about? Long, beautiful hair. Do you realize like the words long and beautiful are somehow related in that sentence, even though there might not be any relation between them being long or being beautiful? But here, when we say beautiful long hair, all right, now I'm describing that his long hair is beautiful. All right, I can't say long, beautiful hair because what am I saying? Like beautiful hair is long. But if I say beautiful long hair, it means I'm telling him his long hair is beautiful. All right. Elegant short hair, same thing. But adjectives of size always come before adjectives of color. All right. For example, beautiful long black hair. All right. Long black hair. I can't say black long hair. I have to say beautiful long black hair. Elegant short red hair. I can't say red elegant short hair. Elegant short red hair. If you use any adjective of substance, it comes after the color adjective. For example, a beautiful long black silk dress. All right, so what I'm telling you, the dress is made of silk and I'm describing its color and then I'm describing its quality and describing its size, right? So all of them are in order. So first will be quality, size, color, and substance, right? So these are the examples and these are the rules. So basically, like in a mathematical theorem, there is a corollary to every theorem. So the corollary to this theorem of order is adjectives of quality can sometimes come before adjectives of size, but adjectives of size always come before adjectives of color. This is what I was talking about. This is where grammar gets a little bit technical, where you have to remember certain rules. But if you practice enough, if you read enough, you'll understand and you don't have to think about when you're writing. So that's why I tell you guys to keep thinking about stuff. All right. So let's end this here. And if you have any questions regarding this, please make notes. Please bring them up to me during like our Google Meets, or you can bring them up whenever you want on Discord, or write me an email about it. So the next topic we'll be taking a look at is adjective endings. Adjectives have many different endings. Some adjectives end in FUL. These adjectives describe noun or pronouns that are full of something or have a lot of something. So for example, a beautiful face, a painful injury, careful student, cheerful baby, joyful smile, helpful teacher, powerful machine, wonderful time. So notice that the FUL is just a single L. Many of you make this mistake when you're writing like something is painful or something is beautiful. Some of you like make mistakes of writing double L's. Please do not do that. There are only a few words in the English language when you're using full that you have to use double L. The word full is one of them. But when you're saying beautiful, it just has one L. Painful just has one L. Joyful just has one L. So keep that in mind. Some adjectives end in OUS. Now, famous writer, famous comes from the word fame, courageous soldier comes from the word courage, mountainous comes from the word mountains, adventurous comes from the word adventure, dangerous comes from the word danger, poisonous comes from the word poison, humorous comes from the word humor, generous comes from the word generosity, all right, mischievous comes from the word mischief, and marvelous is just marvelous. Like I don't know where the word marvel. It basically comes from marvel, but I don't really see a lot of people using marvelous these days. I don't know why. They should actually. I mean, I might even try using it. So some adjectives end in Y, a messy room, a noisy car, dirty. So you can look at all these words and they all have an origin, right? They all come from something. You can see like where the origin is. So this is a good exercise when you're reading about adjectives, when you're going through this screenshot that I've shared on screen. When you're going through these examples, try to figure out like where all these words originate from, like what the origin of these words is. Some adjectives end in less. These adjectives describe a person or thing that does not have something. For example, cloudless sky, meaningless word, sleepless dress, fearless fighter, careless driver, homeless people, etc., so on and so forth. Some adjectives end in AL. So, for example, a national flag, personal possessions, musical instruments, a traditional costume, electrical goods, magical powers, coastal town, medical equipment. Now, there are some adjectives that end in IC, ISH, IBLE, ABLE, IVE, and LY. Now, the reason I'm pronouncing these suffixes, because they are called suffixes because they add on to the end of the word, right? So prefix means adding on before the word, suffix means adding on at the end of the word. So some adjectives end with these suffixes. So for example, a fantastic singer, a terrible mess, an imaginative story, energetic dog, sensible answer, expensive jewelry, basic grammar, horrible smells, talkative children, enthusiastic shouting. Like I said, all of these words originate from some other words which are then turned into adjectives by adding suffixes to them, right? So make sure that whenever you're going through these examples, when you're studying this, try to figure out the origins of these examples, try to figure out the origins of these adjectives that are given to you. All right. Many adjectives end in ing: loving parents, interesting book, a caring nurse, a disappointing result, a flashing light, an outstanding swimmer, a smiling face, an exciting ride, a boring story, chattering monkeys, gleaming car, shocking news. So there is a note here. Words like smiling, caring, and flashing are present participles of verbs. They are formed by adding ing to the verbs. Many present participles can also be used as adjectives. So now if you don't know what the present participle tense is, just Google it, figure it out. If you can't understand it, bring it to me. And then once we reach tenses, once I'm done with adjectives, adverbs, and all of that, once we reach tenses, then you can understand like what does it mean, right? But by now you can just read up upon the present participle. It's not that difficult. You can just read up on it and you'll understand like what it means and what it does and what the rules are, etc. Right? I know I'm saying etc. a lot, but it's because I just don't want to read like all of these examples on my own. It's just boring reading examples, right? Anyways, I'm not doing it. So let's move on to the next part. Many of the adjectives end in ed. So, for example, closed door, satisfied customers, boiled eggs, worried passengers. There's another note given here. Words like closed, wasted, and escaped are past participles of verbs. Many past participles can also be used as adjectives. So, just look this up as well. All right. Look up basically simple participle, present participle, past participle, and future participle. All right. This is like just a little basic. I don't want you guys to understand it completely. Like tenses, I don't want you to get like a full understanding of tenses and come and teach me the next class. I don't want that. I just want you guys to have the general idea of what it means when it says past participle, right? Just look up the form. It's basically like Sanskrit, like the way Sanskrit has its forms of words, like everybody knows like Sanskrit has tables where you have like forms according to tenses. English grammar is pretty much the same way. There's tables of tenses, there's forms which you can remember, and once you remember those tables, you can use those forms anytime you want. So the important part here is describing what something is made of. Some nouns can also be used like adjectives. For example, if you have a chair that is made of plastic, you can use the noun plastic as an adjective and say that the chair is a plastic chair. If you have a watch that is made of gold, you can say it is a gold watch. Now, we've talked about this before. Proper nouns can be used as adjectives when you're describing what? A substance, origin, or color, right? But the nouns wood and wool can't be used like this. To make adjectives of these nouns, you have to add en. All right, so the noun will be wood, adjective will be wooden. So the example would be a wooden door. All right, a wood door doesn't sound right, right? It's not a wood door, it's a wooden door. All right, wool, woolen, a woolen jumper. Jumper is basically a kind of sweater without buttons. Any sweater without buttons is called a jumper, basically. Or maybe like it's a sweater with buttons. Wait, hold on one second. Yeah, I was right. A jumper is a sweater without buttons, basically. Yeah. I was confused. I was like, wait, is it like supposed to be? But like usually like a sweater is like a US term and jumper is like a British term, apparently. All right. So for wood, we'll say wooden. For wool, we'll say woolen. All right. There's another way to make adjectives from nouns. Suppose you want to say that something is like a certain material, although not made of it. All right, now that's the distinction that you're making. That it is like something, but it is not made of it, or it is not the substance that that thing is made of. So to make these adjectives, add en to some nouns and y to other nouns. So for example, gold, adjective becomes golden. For example, a golden sunrise, which means the sunrise is bright yellow like gold. Silk, silky or silken. For example, silky skin, as soft as silk. So lead, adjective leaden, a leaden sky, dark gray like the color of lead. All right, now these are the rules which I really wanted you guys to pay attention to, because these are the ones people get really confused about. Like I said, this simple thing like a wood door or a wooden door. Most people would say a wood door, right? But that's not the correct way to say it. You have to say wooden door. Even when you're writing it, make sure you're saying like wooden door. Or somebody says, oh, that's a wool sweater. No, that's a woolen sweater. There is no way you can say that's a wool sweater because that doesn't make sense, right? If it doesn't make sense to you, just disagree with me. Bring up your disagreement in class. If I can clear it, that means it helps you out. If I can't clear it, that means I learned something. But please, if you don't understand something, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, if you don't understand my explanations, let me know so I can also learn how to explain it to you better, right? I'm going to be teaching you for a while at least. So please let me know if you're not understanding something. I'll try my best to explain it to you in a way that you understand. But for now, this is done. So I'll give you another exercise. I've just given you one in the previous section. I'll give you one more at the end of this video. And you have to do both of them in your fair notebook. Once you've done them like in your rough notebook, you can do both of them in your fair notebook. And I'll give you some more when we have like a Google Meet. All right. So this is done for now. This is it. That's it. That's all we have for today. And that's all, folks.